Welcome to Music and Medicine. Welcome to Music and Medicine. Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. Welcome to Music and Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I'm excited, I'm ecstatic today. We're in the presence of music royalty, Damien Roderick, better known as Big Percy, head of CEO, Roderick Music Marketing. And this man has put marketing into the music industry, especially as it relates to our people, and defined the culture. And you know hip hop defines the culture. 50 years, and what a privilege to sit down with you, my friend.
My brother.
Good.
50 years of hip hop and 50 years of me.
I didn't think you were that.
Yes, 1973.
Wow, so same year.
Same year.
From the very beginning.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with your intro. I see you did your research and everything. You was on point.
Sure. Hey.
Matter of fact, you was on point like Stacey Adams.
Hey, you're too young to know about those.
Nah, shit, I got some.
I'm from Brooklyn, so definitely.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so let's roll it back a little bit, go all the way back to Pomona. Mm-hmm. Some of the early music you were listening to and some of the people that inspired you, because I know you were musical early on.
Yeah, I've been in the game coming out of Pomona. That's my roots, that's home base. Mm-hmm. So watching the Kokanes and Above the Laws and the Sugar Frees and the Pomona Pimpin' Youngs and the Pomona City Riders, that's my hub. Mm-hmm. So when I was done playing basketball, my cousin Sugar Bear, which is A.K. Terrence Flowers, Sugar Bear Entertainment, he had a record label out of Pomona. Probably one of the biggest record labels ever to come out of Pomona, which was Powerhouse Records. Yes. So with that, when I came done was playing ball, came home, invested in the Powerhouse. We had some artists, Cloud9, which was ambitious, and Al Diego. Mm-hmm. Took them on the road, did some things with them. And then I started doing a lot of stuff with Kokane, like I said, and Sugar Free, just pushing the P, really pushing the P.
Absolutely.
And pushing our city. Right. And that's my roots when it comes to the music. Sure.
But you gave us a lot, so we got to unpack it a little bit. Let's even start with the last one you just mentioned, pushing the P. Yeah. Tell us what that means, because it stands for a lot of things besides Percy.
Well, the young man that just got caught up in his situation, you know, we different on the West Coast, so we won't say no name. Sure. You know who you are, you know what you've done and all that stuff. But we really push P. Absolutely. You know, the letter P is the most powerful letter in the alphabet. Right. In our city, our logo for the city is 6 Ps. Mm. My studio that I had with Pomona Pimpin' Young in Pomona was a 6 P studio. Right. It has a lot of different, different analogies and concepts with the P, but it really means something to us. Right. It really means something to me. Not just my name, not just from Pomona. Right. Powerful, prestigious. Yes, prestige. You know, these things are what we're pushing, and we really are pushing P.
Sure. And I want to unpack that story. You also mentioned Kokane, about starting to work with him, and that call came. Yeah. Let's talk about sort of working with him and the talent he had dropping verses. The major play, and I'll never forget that day, the major play, I've always done stuff with Kokane. That's like my brother. We call each other twins. Yes. You know, he's a godfather and a legend out of the streets of Pomona, not just the streets of Pomona, hip hop. Mm-hmm. He's probably the most featured artist with hooks and writing for people and starting with Above the Law and all that stuff. So that's my brother. So I remember the call, me and my partner at the time, C-Note, we had a company, my first management company was 7 South Entertainment. That was the Trey 57 side of Pomona, and my neighborhood, which is the south side of Pomona. So we were trying to do some unity stuff. Sure. And we just came up with the concept, 7 South Entertainment. That was the hub of the management company through Powerhouse Records. And me and my partner took Kokane to Warren G's house. Right. Warren G was working on some music up in Mission Viejo. Right. We took him out there, and Warren G was there cooking. Mr. Grimm, Mr. Grimm, me and Mr. Grimm went to high school in West Covina. Right. Football player that lived in the complex in the neighborhood, Curtis Conway was there. Right. And I remember, like, we were cooking, Coca dropped his music, and we got a call from Dog. We all the way in Mission Viejo. Sure. We just got done with Warren G. Dog said he needed Kokane at the Dog House. Wow.
hit the freeway, and took off.
Right. And then going into that, one of the key things what you brought to the table is this whole concept of marketing. Even before it was as appreciated, you came to the table with much. Talk to us about the importance of that and exactly what you do, because I think a lot of people don't realize that now it's all about that, and people are following your playbook.
Well, the thing, and we'll get back on that my first trip to the doghouse when we went. But the first thing that really hit me over the head was one of my first tours out with Snoop, and it happened to be the Rock the Mic. And the Rock the Mic was Jay-Z, the Rockefeller Crew, 50 Cent's first tour with G-Unit, and Snoop and the Dog Pound and all the homies. And that was my first quote unquote major tour. I went on the Puff Puff Pass tour, Puff Puff Pass 1. Now we have Puff Puff Pass 2 tour. Got all the footage for that 20 something years later, so we'll be dropping that soon. But the marketing side, really, and I'm paying homage, you know, you got your East Coast roots, I got my East Coast roots. My pops was born in Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, okay.
You know, I got businesses in New York.
Sure.
I love the Puerto Rican Day parades. I'm part Puerto Rican, so shit, why don't you start a marketing company, Roderick Music Marketing? I'm sitting back. I said, Dad, I'm taking that.
Right. All right, man.
And then I took one of my mottos from my company, came from Uncle Junebug and Uncle Rio.
Right.
Rest in peace, my uncles. They were fighting. They were getting ready to have a big fight on the front of the bus because Uncle Rio wanted to watch wrestling.
Okay.
And you know his daughter is Sasha Banks.
Right.
He called it wrestling.
Right, exactly.
And Junebug wanted to watch Andy Griffith.
Damn, you know that's gonna be a fight.
Man, we in the middle of nowhere. I happen to be up. Everybody else sleep. So I broke him up and all that shit. And then Uncle Junebug used to have a long fingernail. And he told Rio, you see this? I'll cut you. I said, man, how you gonna cut your brother with your fingernail? And then Rio told him, you know what, Junebug, you. Don't watch me, watch the moves I make.
I like that.
So on the combination of taking RMM from Daz, taking that slogan from me now, which is the major motto of my company and what I tell my crew, don't watch me, watch the moves we make. That's how my marketing company came about. And then I just went full-fledged, bringing deals, bringing different plays, attaching things to us and tours and product placement and all that stuff, and collecting all that ancillary that we was missing.
Sure. And talk about that though, how important that is to realize that there's money that can be gotten and it's not worth leaving on the table, and they've been doing it for years.
And I've been in the game on the entertainment music side since the early 90s. We didn't have all this that we have access to now. backing down.
Right.
And the masses and the people, the other people, don't ever want to see us together.
Exactly. Because stronger together.
It's stronger in numbers.
Right.
So they always pit us against each other. They always coming up with false narratives and all that stuff. So I've always pushed coming together. And it's so much talent amongst us.
Right. Incredible.
From the clothes.
Right.
To making producing.
Right.
To TVs. To everything. If it was, I always said, if we can come together, get past the nonsense, that's when the world will shut down.
I'm just trying to, like you said, share more of the love, but also make sure everybody's got a piece. So everybody said, there's plenty to go around.
LT Hutton, the producer of the Tupac movie, is one of the greatest minds in the game to me. And he always said, Pete, you gotta play, bring it to me. It's all profit.
Right.
Once we bust it down, it's all profit. Right. We started at zero.
Right.
It was a concept.
Right.
It was an idea. Let's put it into fruition. Let's put it into play. And now it's all profit. So bringing something to the table, everybody can get a piece. I'm not greedy. That's one thing I'm not. I'm not greedy. I know how to carve mine.
Right. Sure.
And if somebody brings the play and idea to the table, they should have their situation together and know what they're worth. Sure. Everybody got to know their worth.
Right. So, talking about bringing people together. So you get this call from the other side, and they're like, "We need to make a vodka, and it needs to be tip top, 7 times distilled, organic, the whole 9." Yeah. Tell us about why it's so great.
Going back to having our own.
Yeah.
You know, we've done the stuff for Landy Cognac. Dog did stuff with Tanqueray, made Tanqueray famous. We had Colt 45. We had
helped all them.
St. Ives, even from back in the day. We had all these different brands. We were making hundreds of millions
for them,
and they was giving us just a little pity
change,
crumbs.
Right.
I was dealing with Snoop at the time was involved with this brand called Cuca Fresca. It was a Brazilian rum, and the lady at the time was the founder of it. She had to deal with Snoop. I wasn't a part of that deal per se, but towards the end, Kevin, white boy Kevin, and Snoop was like, you know, Phoenix, you need to get with Percy. Percy with me every day, books the DJ gigs, he's on tour. He is the ear, he is the culture, he's in the streets. So you need to get with him. If you're not getting your stuff facilitated from the other people, the other side of management, get with Pete. As soon as she got with me, things took off, blew up. She was like, damn, I should have got with you a long time. Okay, well now, I was doing stuff naturally because it was Snoop's brand. Let's get the paperwork together.
Get it done.
Gave me a piece of the company, gave me my ownership in it, gave me my marketing budgets, and we blew up, took it to the next level. She said, you know, P, if I ever do another liquor, I'm gonna do it with you.
And call you first.
People talk.
Which she did.
People talk.
And you didn't expect it.
Wasn't expecting it. We were still doing business with the Cuca Fresca. I got stocks and shares in that company now. And about 5-6 years ago, she called me and said, you ready? I said, I've been waiting on you. And then this is what we got. This is what we came up with. It was, it's my baby. You know, true legacy. Always keeping it true. Always want to build your legacy. I'm not supposed to say it on camera. She gets mad. My team, Dave, backstage is a part of it. I wasn't a vodka drinker. I'm a tequila, wine, champagne.
Got it.
And we came up with the, you know, health conscious, flavor, smooth. You know, vodka always with me was the burn and, and the rubbing alcohol smell. I couldn't get past it. We got all that eliminated. 7 times distilled, gluten-free, organic corn. My lab and distillery is in New York, Newburgh.
Right upstate.
And if you know anything about filtration process and the liquor process and the spirits game, the key is the filtration and the water.
Because a lot of them are 2 or maybe 5 times. 2,
5, and all that stuff. And to go 7 times, you have to spend some money. Because another cup, 2 more, 3 more processes to get to the, you know, look like water. There ain't no bubbles, there ain't none of that in there. But the key is the water. and we get our water from the Catskills.
Right up there. Right.
So we get our water from the Catskills, and then we took it to the next level. Something that nobody's ever done that I've heard of.
Diamonds, right?
We run it through diamonds. Once you get past all that 7 times filtration, we take it to the next level with some diamonds that we came up with that have some special healing powers and cleansing powers and all that type of stuff that we mined on our own up in the hills in New York and different places. I can't give you that location. We run it 3 more times through the process, and this is what we came up, True Legacy. I don't like to toot my own horn. The people, it's not my vodka, it's your vodka, it's Dave's vodka, it's Press Play's vodka. This vodka is for the people, and the people has voted it #1. And the press wine enthusiasts gave us the 96 platinum rating, the highest vodka rating. The other brands, they got 80s.
Right, you ain't playing around.
They got 80s. We got the 96. It's documented. Don't believe me.
Right.
Read the reviews. Read the reviews. Or like my buddy say, don't ask me, ask the bitch. Man. You know what I mean? So that's what we came up with, True Legacy. That's what we pushing. We got our own, and this is ours.
Sure. And talking about this is ours, talk about Pineapple Express, owning your own.
Yeah.
And hey, forget the endorsements. We got our own.
Pineapple Express wasn't even looking for it. Came through a vision of, at the time I was doing some stuff with Debo.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Debo was my brother. Debo was bringing his clothes and stuff to my store out in Vegas.
Sure.
He had a brand. He would sell out every time. We would do pop-ups and meet and greets with him.
Sure.
And then maybe about right before pandemic, I was at the Champs, the weed convention in Vegas, just walking around doing my parlaying.
Right.
And I happened to be at my booth because I'm a part of this brand called Nuggle.
Right.
Nuggle is kind of on the next level of weed maps. And Big A, my partner, Daz and Corrupt's manager, Easy's homeboy, one of my mentors. Big A brought me a part of Nuggle. I'm on the board of directors with Nuggle. And then from there, I met Debo. No, I knew Debo years, but Debo was happened to be at the Pineapple Express booth down the hall from us. And everybody was blowing me up. Oh man, your boy Debo's here. I said, all right, either have Debo and his team come to our booth or we'll go to theirs. So I got the contingent of my people. We walked down to the Pineapple Express booth. I built a rapport with the owner. He was black.
Sure. Which impressed you. And the CEO.
He's a CEO, black, educated, military man like my father and my grandfathers and all them stuff. So we hit it off, and then they were doing some investing and opening up some investing and stuff to some new projects. So I brought the celebrity cachet to the table, and that's just how the thing spawned and blew up.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we go from the streets to the suites. So on the opposite side, you got golf classics that you're doing. Talk to us about how that came up, because certainly I haven't gotten a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And it's just so wonderful.
It's just another branch of us coming up with powerful movements. And I'm a golf advocate. I'm going to see Tiger tomorrow.
Sure. Okay.
Tiger, he made the cut, doing good today. Going with my client Matt Barnes and a couple other guys. We're gonna go support him and check him out at the Genesis in Pacific Palisades. I just went back maybe 3 weeks ago to Torrey Pines to the Farmers. So I'm golf. It keeps me out of trouble.
Yes.
My basketball days are over.
Sure.
You meet a lot of good people and bust a lot of different deals and plays on that golf course.
Right.
So that's what I do.
Right.
My father's still involved with golf. That's a little bonding thing that me and him have the opportunity to. So at the time I was playing with a lot of comedians and stuff. Didn't know they played golf. They didn't know I played. So I brought the music, the entertainers and all that stuff, and I just sent out a text, let's meet, let's play some golf. Comics would come, and then once you start playing with each other and comparing your game to your buddy and all that, you're like, fool, I could beat you. I got beef with you, so you got beef with him, call him out. Now you want a head up match with him.
Sure.
And it just built, and I had a couple tournaments. They were all sold out, successful. It was nothing like these other stiff tournaments. It was fun. It was bringing the vendors and bringing the girls, and it was just a great time.
Everybody's there to have a good fun.
Yeah. So now we're happen to be 8 years later, we're on our 7th annual.
Sure.
7th annual will be one of the biggest. It happens to be my 50th birthday.
Wow.
So we're gonna coincide all that together. Sure. And Golf Beef 7 will be out in San Diego, giving y'all exclusive. July 28th through the 30th. That happens to be a national holiday, which is my birthday, my C-Day. You know, 50 years of hip hop, right. 50 years of me.
Right.
We are the culture, star-studded like usual, and we're just gonna have some fun and have some green on the green.
Sure. Rolling back the clock a little bit, and since you brought up basketball and have that experience of having gone overseas at an early age, it seems like it runs in the genes. Mm-hmm. Your daughter's now playing. Talk to us about kind of being that family guy and really now having that perspective as well of the future.
It's just a natural progression of now RMM Sports.
Right.
You got RMM Entertainment, you got RMM Marketing, and RMM Sports with the Golf Beef, and now my daughter. It's crazy to watch her grow and watch her game, you know, go to the next level naturally. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She's me in a female version, right? But better. I had all the talent in the world, but I didn't grasp how to play the system. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't make it to the quote unquote highest level of the NBA. Right. Because my attitude and different things. She's an A and B student. Right. I've never had to be at the school one time for any bullshit.
Right.
And she's the tip of the iceberg of what she can do with potential with the ball. Right. And like I told her, I said, baby, the sky's the limit. Right. Pretty much everything that I've done and my connections have came from that orange basketball. Right. I'm still close friends with friends from high school. Right. From junior college to college, some of still my best friends come from that basketball. It's a platform. Right. And the platform for you, because she's into cameras. If I brought her today, she would be manning this camera and asking him questions and asking Dave. That's her major. That's her major is photography, film. That's regardless of what school's recruiting her, if they don't have that major, she's not going. Right. So she's getting recruited heavily. She was a 4-time varsity starter, 2-time All-League, MVP of the league, MVP of her team, 2-time averaging a double-double. Wow. She's the only player averaging a double-double for 2 years straight. Played on the top travel ball team, used to work out at the Mamba Center. Right. So now she just finished her senior season, so we're gonna take some time off. Mm-hmm. We got some visits set up, and the decision is hers. Right. The decision is hers, but this is one of my proudest accomplishments. Absolutely. One of my proudest.
Another one though, and you may take it for granted, but I don't, and we shouldn't, which is also using music as that platform to bring so many young artists sort of into the game, in front of the camera, behind the camera. Yeah. Talk to us about constantly reaching back to Pomona and other artists who are up and coming and giving them exposure and connections that they might not have otherwise.
Well, the key and one of the biggest things that I was able to do on the give back side was create the Pomona City Movement. Right. And the Pomona City Movement spawned from what we did with when Snoop and Young Sag did with the Long Beach City Movement. It was a time in Snoop City and my city that we just had to give back. Right. Because there was so much talent, and we wanted to eliminate just opportunity, just like somebody gave us opportunity. Right. So started with the Long Beach City Movement, took it globally. We were on BET Moguls TV show with Snoop and all those guys. And then I said, you know what? It's only right for me to do it in my city. Did the Pomona City Movement with Pomona Pimpin' Young. That was my business partner on that, still my business partner today. He's the CEO of Pimp On Entertainment. And we just gave an opportunity, all levels of artists and talent in the city, different sizes, different sections, to come together, cream of the crop. Whoever makes it, we're gonna take you on one of the biggest tours in your life, first time ever touring. Right. And that's what we did. We took the Long Beach City and the Pomona City Movement on the biggest tour of their life for 2 months, and the cream rises to the top, but like we say, the P rises to the top. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to us about just sort of this mentorship and this whole concept of really moving the movement forward over time. You've been in the game a long time, Snoop's been in the game a long time, and there's been that constant willingness to constantly strive higher and move the whole movement up and elevate as you go along, with everybody kind of being pulled up.
Well, we're all men now. Right. We're all grown.
Right.
We've all carved out our niche of what we're good at. And a lot of those guys from those different movements, you have to be honest. Honesty is the key. Okay. If your music doesn't speak for you, and that's not going to be your branch or your savior in your situation in this entertainment circle, you might be good behind the camera.
Right.
You might be a producer. You might be a writer. So we just had to be honestly, brutally honest.
Right.
With these guys and these young ladies that some of y'all not gonna make it.
Right.
And that's okay. You're not gonna make it but you're still gonna be connected. Right. You're still gonna be in the mix. And it's not just about being a rapper or a singer. It's many facets of ways that you can be a part of the game. And Snoop being in this Dog Pound and Doggy Style and Death Row and NWA, that family tree.
Right.
Snoop is at the top of the food chain.
Right.
So if you can't follow his blueprint and incorporate that into your game, because he's had the many highs and the lows, right, and now he's at the top.
Right.
So if you just around rolling blunts and not really soaking up the game, right, you're not gonna win. And that's one thing that I've done. That's one thing I teach anybody that comes under the RMM imprint. We're not here to hang out.
Right.
We trying to get our boots laced up.
Right.
We want to go to the next level.
Sure.
I need to be able to come holler at you if something happens to me.
Right. No matter what.
I don't want everybody coming to holler at me.
Sure. Right.
I need some more like me.
Right. Exactly.
So it's just about growth, reach one, teach one, expansion, and just finding your niche of what you're good at and take that to the next level.
Right. And what piece of advice would you give to some young cats that are in the game that are really just trying to find their voice or find their place or things like that, and maybe grandma used to say this, kind of smell themselves just a little bit too much?
I mean, I don't care what you believe in, if it's God or if it's Jah, if it's Muslim, if it's Jewish, you have to believe in something bigger and greater than you. Mm-hmm. Once you establish that and give thanks for the opportunity of waking up.
Right.
A lot of people don't wake up every day.
Yes.
So if you got an opportunity to wake up, you got an opportunity to do anything and accomplish anything throughout the day once you put your mind to it. So that's the key. And a lot of people that I deal with, because I'm semi-retired, you know what I'm saying? Right. I've been in the game, I've been there, done that. So if it's not, you don't have a movement or a marketing tool or some merch, it's not that I'm not going to rock with you. Sure. It's easier for me to open my Rolodex and stamp you because you already have a movement.
Right.
And I'm gonna give you my connections. I'm gonna turn you on everything that I've been turned on to, and it should be an easy flow for you to take your brand, because we are brands. Right. You're a brand. Right. My liquor's a brand. I'm a brand. Right. You gotta push yourself to the forefront. You have to be you gotta make yourself a fixture that everybody knows and sees and wants. So anything else that you got going, they know you, they know your track record. So everything else you got going, they're gonna bring it into the mix. Sure. Easy, smooth transition, right, because they know your track record and you do good work.
Sure. You've dropped so many pearls of knowledge. Just one other key areas, contracts and legal things, and just whatever warnings or maybe a couple of tips of being careful, but also being wise.
You have to have your team. It's all about your team. It's not just Big Percy. Right. It's not just me. You see the glitz and the glamour and right, P traveling and in and out of these fancy cars and right, seeing the world and hanging out with the top people. It just don't happen like that. Right. I have a team. Right. First of all, I have a strong family base and supporters, but I have a team. And my team does their role. Right. They make things happen. They know how I rock. Right. And they play their position. So my team, I don't want to be the only one sitting in the room, like I was saying. Right. looking like $1 million. I want you to figure out, damn, who is that? Who was the boss of that situation? Or fuck it, they all look like bosses.
Right.
You know what I mean? That. So I got Dave from Backstage, handles all my marketing and media. That's why I'm here today.
Right.
I have Princess, she does a lot of my PR. I have Echo Sound, she does a lot of my PR. Right. I have Corey, Handsome Magazine. He does a lot of photography stuff for me. I have Big A Entertainment. He runs a lot of the music side of my stuff. I have Callie Jones, genius kid, man. Been dealing with him for years, but I never really gave him an opportunity because he was involved with some other people and all that stuff. Right. And I was just letting him feel himself and figure it out. But now he's part of the RMM camp. Genius, one of the most talented. He's this close from making it. Not just on the music, he writes scripts, he does everything, he creates. You know, I never thought I would be a rapper. And we joked around and played with it, and I said, I'm the 47-year-old rapper. Put some music out and shit was hot. Right. Never put out an album or anything. Then I was a 48-year-old rapper. Right. It's like, I'm not put some more music. Right. That shit was banging. Motherfucker like, P, you rap? No, I'm creating with Jones.
I was creating flow.
Yeah, he come up with some concept, or I tell him just some shit, catchy shit that I came up with, and we'll make it a song. Right. Then I was a 49-year-old rapper, which I am to this day. And I'm dropping a project. I did drop Rider Gang Volume 2 mixtape. Yes. Sensational hit. And now I'm going to finish my album with Press Play. Yes. And I'm going to drop my whole entire album, Press Play and Califo Jones. And we're just going to put all the music that I've done, create some more, and I'm just going to drop an EP. Nice. And it's just going to be fire. Absolutely. So anything that you want to do, if it's in your head, you have to make it into fruition. You never know what's gonna happen. Right. So the vodka, who knew what was gonna happen? Right. My car club, we ain't even talking about the car club. Right. My car club, my golf tournament. These are just things that I do naturally and had fun with and brought my peers and brought the same people that I love that do the same thing. And now it's spawned into vodkas and TV shows and pre-rolls and clothing companies and stores just off of vision.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Our show is called Music and Medicine. When you hear those words, music and medicine, what does that mean to you? How does it speak to you?
Music, I don't want to talk about the brother last night, but I took some friends. I went to see Donnell Jones. Yeah. Yes. Donnell Jones was everything, the 90s and the early 2000s. Had smashed.
Right, yes.
You hear it now, you know where you were, you know the girl you was with, you know everything.
Right.
Track player still works. Right. I did put a new system and everything in it. Right. But getting in that car, one of the most famous commercials that I loved as a kid was the Grey Poupon commercial. Yes. You know, past the Grey Poupon, it was sexy, it was rich, it was My car is called Grey Poupon.
Right. Oh,
I got a jar of Grey Poupon in my car.
Okay.
So I play nothing but oldies.
Right.
I play the music that coming as a 70s baby that my mom and my grandmother played when we were cooking out barbecues, family events, family reunions.
Right.
That's the good time. That's the shit I remember. So music takes you to a place and time in your life that you can always relate to. If some music comes on, the first thing you're like, I was there, I was in college, I was this, that. We're lacking that now with the music that's being created. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to give our flowers to the press plays. We have to give our flowers to the Battle Cats.
Yes.
We have to, because these guys are making timeless music.
Yes.
They're not making all that jibber jabber and all that violent stuff. They're making real music that hits the soul and gives you the cleansing of your mind so you can go throughout your day. People wake up in the morning playing music. You go to bed at night playing music. You're in your car all day playing music.
Exactly.
The music is based on how you're going to complete your day. So music is medicine and medicine is music.
Sure. It may be too simple to answer, but do you think that some of the elements are, hey, I'm putting it out too quickly, I'm not putting my real heart into it, I'm just
like everything nowadays, these kids don't have a grasp of what it takes to make it, the process, because they have the social media. They can throw something up and get 1,000 million followers and views by a touch of a button. We didn't have that. We barely had phones. You know what I mean? So now it's so easy, and that's why they get to a point, and then you're hearing all these sad stories of failure, jail, drugs, and all that stuff, because it's like a rags to riches, back to rags situation. If you look at the game, from the Dr. Dre's and the Snoops and the Ice Cube and the E40s and the Too Short, and Nipsey was ahead of his time.
Truly.
It's not a race, it's a marathon. It's the longevity, always reinventing yourself, recreating yourself. Snoop is the key of it. He went from gang banging, fighting murder cases, to Coach Snoop, to fatherhood, to Snoop and Martha, to now doing children's books and cereals. And you got to reinvent yourself. You got to keep up with the time. And that's based off what you surround yourself with, what you put in your body, your mental. Your mental is everything. Your brain controls everything. And your surroundings and your team.
Do you think maybe need to slow down a little bit?
They need
listen to a little bit of old school, get some appreciation.
I've been thinking about doing a master class.
Sure.
You know, my boy Fabby Davis up in the Bay, he always puts these powerful master classes and brings culture, fashion. He brings all these different elements. He brings in these speakers, and these kids just need a blueprint. They need some more mentorship. It all goes back to how you was raised. I'm thinking about putting a master class and bringing in some guys that I consider G's, OGs, double OGs, and triple OGs, and just giving the pure, raw, uncut game. That's what I mean. Look how many rappers every week you go on social media, the news, they getting killed, they going to jail, they telling on each other. Look at our culture. Look at our era. We still here. We done been through everything. And we still here prospering. We still the tastemaker. We still at the top of the food chain. So that should tell you something. We ain't no Milli Vanillis in this stuff. We ain't no one-hit wonders. And these guys, even though they getting the fame and the fast money, what are you doing with it? It's the longevity. I'm still spending money from the 80s.
And many people would say that you guys not only put in the work, but kind of really laid out that blueprint. So trying to do it too quick, too fast, microwave it.
You're not going to really enjoy it because you didn't work for it. That's how I look at it. You didn't work for it. It was given to you. And anything given to you is not it. You have, this is my baby. My movies is my baby. I watched it from nothing. Incubation, blossomed, fed it, just like my daughter. I brought her out of her mama. To this, to now, she's on her own, drive her own car. Dad, just meet me at the grocery store. And then watch her pull off. You know what I mean? I made that.
Sure.
I watched that. I watered that.
Right.
It means a whole lot.
Absolutely.
In the process of creation, of music, brands, family. It means a lot.
Absolutely. In terms of just maintaining your own, not only sanity, but peace of mind and keeping it juggled, not to get too stressed, how do you do it? How do you keep it all sort of in balance?
I disappear. You know, I'll leave a situation if the vibe ain't right in the heartbeat. Dave will tell you, my team will tell you.
Right.
Next, they see me start packing up shit and looking for back doors and exits. Next thing you know, I'm FaceTiming some shit from in front of the fireplace.
Exactly.
They're like, there's food in left. I'm gone. I know.
Right, you can feel it.
It's my gut. My gut is based off my instincts, and it got me here this far, and I'm riding my gut.
Right.
I have a feel, it's a God-given talent. I have a feel of a vibe when people are bullshitting. I stick to my ear, I stick to my gut, and it goes back to my faith, and it goes back to my team. I just have to keep preaching that.
Sure.
I'm a firm, and I meditate. I didn't believe in all that meditation and all that stuff. I meditate. Getting older, I go see my physician, I go see my doctors. I just took some allergy tests because my body was changing. I was eating different things that I've been eating my whole life, and I was watching my body change. So I went and took allergy tests.
Right.
I went and took an environmental allergy test. I did the food allergy test, and it's making a difference.
Right.
You know, it's making a huge difference.
Right.
I take trips. I know how to relocate when the spot get hot.
Right.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Time to jet.
You have to do that. You have to go your environment. Yeah, 100%. And it's just knowing your surroundings, knowing you. The comfort level has to be key for you to be successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned the store, but tell us where it is.
My store. That's just I should have had a store years ago, just dealing with all the brands and shit. One of my houses was a store. Right. I had shit
everywhere
piled up.
It's like I got inventory for
clothes, give it away.
Sure.
And then when Nip was doing his thing with the marathon clothing, I always wanted a store, and just it happened. I was in Vegas, back and forth with Vegas, visiting family and doing different things, and the opportunity came. The #1 shoe store was in the Boulevard Mall. It was called Urban Necessity.
Okay.
That was his first store. He left and expanded and went to the Fashion Show Mall, and that space had opened up in the mall, and I took it. Right. 5 years, going on 5 years later, we have the place. It's in the Boulevard Mall, and it's just an opportunity, another opportunity for my brands and people around me that have brands that never been in a store, never,
don't know
let
the
alone,
process.
never didn't know the process to have their brands and have their merch in a store, and then platform that and piggyback it into something else. But it's also in that area where I am. It's low income, and I used to terrorize that area. So it was a chance for me to give back. Me and my cousin Sugar Bear, he's the manager, he runs the store, to give back to that area. So we do open mics. Okay. We feed people. When clothes and stuff come in from different brands that are damaged, we give it out to the homeless. When celebrities come in town, you know, a lot of these people can't pay that $100, $200 ticket to go see their favorite artist. So I reach out and say, you know, XYZ 40, Ray J, whoever's in town. Tiffany Haddish did her book signing. Cat Williams done a lot of events there, the Dog Pound. When you come in town for these major shows and getting this major money, come see your people. Sure. Man, let them touch you. Right. They're gonna spend money with you, what they got. So bring your merch, and then whatever you don't sell, we'll leave it in the store and sell it. So that's just the concept that I came up with the store. It's called The Place. You can follow that at The Place Vegas. It's in the Boulevard Mall, going on 5 years. Any brands, any merchandise companies, hats, clothes, whatever it is, bring it in, we'll give you opportunity.
Sure. Next big event?
Golf Beef.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Golf Beef is coming up July 28th through the 30th, my 50th. It's just gonna be a good time, man. Letting people experience and see the celebrities, just golfing, having fun, family. It's a family event, but we do it different. you know, it goes with the culture, it goes with the lifestyle.
Sure.
I've been a fan of cars, not really the high-end cars, even though I got the Bentleys and all that stuff. That was just for show.
Right.
But I'm old school.
Classics.
The classics.
Right.
There's nothing like a classic car, man. Get in and cruise and listen to the music, drop the top, ride with your ladies, call the homies up. They pull out the low riders or the Chevys or the Caprices. Yeah. Go ride, hit Malibu, hit Sunset. It's just something, you know, unmatched. Right. And the West Coast created that.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So when the pandemic hit, everybody was looking for something to do, trying to fellowship and hang out, and we were locked in.
Right.
So I'm like, man, I got to get out the house.
Right, we got it.
You know what I mean? I got to roll. So I called. You know, a lot of people were scared to come out. I called, reached out, and Wiz was like, man, let's ride. Man, I got to get out the house too. Wiz probably has about 10 low riders in old school, and then Sid was like, man, I got to get out too.
Exactly.
So it actually started just me, Sid, and Wiz.
Right.
No security. I think Wiz pulled out 2 cars, had some of his boys riding.
Right.
Sid pulled out his 1940 truck.
Right. Wow.
At the time, I had just bought the pink Cadillac. Right. And I had just got it back from my mechanic, and I needed to blow it out and put it on the road. So, and it was at the same time as the BLM movement, and shit was going on, and George Floyd, and just a lot of just crazy shit was going. Riots in the streets. Right. We locked in the house. Pandemic.
Right. A lot of pressure.
And yeah, pressure. Pressure was unreal. So we was just riding, man. Nothing was open.
Right.
It was protests in the street. Right. We just hit Hollywood, hit Sunset. Tried to get some food and stuff. We stopped at Mel's Diner.
Right.
And people came out that was working in there and said we were their first customer in months and months and months. And we just parked in the front, ate, smoked and drank. Sure. Didn't have no route, went through the hills, came back out in Sherman Oaks, stopped back at Wiz's house and said, was like, Pete, you got something.
Nice.
I said, all right. Next week I put a text out. Now we 10 cars.
Right.
Next week I put a text out, like 30 cars.
Right.
They're like, man, I've been wanting to get out the house. And everybody has cars.
Right, sure.
And then probably like the 4th, 5th week, Snoop was like, man, Pete, what you doing with them cars, man? What y'all doing? I got cars, and plus I've been trying to get rid of these ones, and I'm trying to get some new one, a new fleet. Exactly. I'm gonna pull up.
Sure, nice.
Kid you not, I don't know, TMZ was in the bushes.
Exactly, they live everywhere, don't they?
Man, they was in the bushes,
come right out of
in the trees,
concrete.
The houses that's above Mel, they was up.
Absolutely.
And it went viral. Harvey picked it up.
Right.
They said we were shooting a music video.
Right.
We were just naturally just having a good time, and it blew up. Sure. And now, shit, Rider Gang is 3 years later.
Sure.
Every time I come in town, I can put a text right now, and I might have 10 cars pull up here.
Sure. Right.
Or if I call and say Sunday, you know, it's usually the day we ride.
Sure.
They're gonna pull up. Yeah. And then I had to expand it because I'm like, Big P, you rock with everybody. I never knew the Armenian boys rode. I never knew the Asian boys rode. I knew the Essays rode because they're kind of the creators of the low ride, and they're cruising Whittier Boulevard back in the day. Yeah. So I just opened it up to everybody. Nice. So maybe 2 years ago, New Year's Eve, like 2 days after New Year's Eve, they said I did one of the biggest car cruises in the history of car cruises. It was over 200, 300 cars. So we left Hollywood. The time they said, no joke, the time we pulled out of the parking lots and everything, when I made a right on Hollywood Boulevard, and then I got to like Fairfax, they said cars were still pulling out of the first parking lot to follow.
Exactly. Right.
And we just, man, we rode no bullshit. 4 years, no violence. Crips, Bloods, Armenians, female riders now, and now it's a TV show. It's everything. Merch, everything. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Quick shout out here. Gotta thank everybody that helped make this happen. So big shout out to David Evans, Backstage Access. Without him, it's my boy, Chris Bridges, publicity and things like that. And more importantly, the kind of message that Mr. Big Percy is bringing out today is so important. Unity in the community, and also being willing to put in that time into the work and really kind of grow your business into a brand, and being willing to realize the business side and stuff you may leave behind is so important. Think about who you have on your team. These are kind of pearls that we learned from him today. Really being selective on who you're with and also feeling that vibe. And if you're not ready to go out and you're not really ready to shine, it's okay to be behind the camera. And he certainly brought that out too. Naming all his people that are on his team. It doesn't matter if they're always showboating and we know their names or not. They're critical in not only making him a success, but in bringing us all the artists and all the people we love. So be confident in who...
So carve out your niche, get yours, because I got mine.
You're hearing it here live from Rel's place, and we got Press Play in the house, got David Evans in place, Jason Takoy, making it all happen here on Music and Medicine. We're just trying to bring you life. We feel like music is medicine, and certainly, as he said it himself, Mr. Big Percy, you need to find your medicine, make sure it's healthy, take care of yourself, and continue to live that life. Do what you're good at, and you'll have nothing but love to shout out to the rest of the people. And we'll recognize your talent. You don't have to make it too much of a megaphone. People will see it. Thanks so much.
The P always rises to the top. Don't worry about the cream. Cash rules everything around, but the P will always rise to the top.
Love it.
Church.